Hey Eurovision fans, it's time for another Eurovision 2025 odds update. Today we're going to go through the winning odds and talk about all of the latest news with every single country. Then we're going to check out the new markets for the qualifiers of semi-final number 1 and semi-final number 2. And finally, we're going to look at the new markets for the top 5, the Balkans, the Baltics, the Nordics, and the big 5. Loads to talk about. Let's kiki. Hi, my name is Tom. I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst, and you can find all of this stuff on my Eurovision channel. Quick update of videos that are coming up. I just published my semi-final 2 prediction videos. I'm also going to do another Eurovision scoreboard update. Apologies that I've been doing less of those this season. They just take a huge ton of work. That's the main reason. I'll try and do like a smaller version. It might be a shorter video than normal, but that's coming up. And also I'm going to do a Q&A really soon to celebrate the channel reaching 20,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone for reaching that milestone and for already leaving me questions on my social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those videos when they're published. Okay, let's get started. First, we're going to go through the winning outright odds for Eurovision 2025, starting at the bottom. We'll go quickly through this because there hasn't been huge changes since my last video. April does tend to be a little bit of a quieter month, but there have been some movements. Let's start right at the bottom with 37th place. It's Nina Zizic. She's stayed put in last place. No big news on this. If you have any information about their staging or who their artistic director might be, leave me a comment down below. But I think that they're going to have to use a lot of creativity. We know that they don't have a huge budget and they're second in the running order. So I understand why this is bottom of the betting odds, considering that it's not very likely that they'll be able to qualify to the final. In 36th place, moving down one spot, we have Marco for Croatia. He's been doing really great in the pre-parties. In Dora, he was having some vocal issues. He had to have a couple of injections. But in the pre-parties, he's been singing really super well. Still, the main question for this is, can it qualify? If you want to bet on Croatia, you're better off betting in the qualifying odds instead. Okay, in 35th place, moving up one spot is Vibe. Happy to see them moving up a little bit. I hope that when we see their rehearsals and they've got something really fun and boisterous and exciting, that we see them move up the table, because we do know that they're checking it. They did a video on their YouTube channel celebrating moving up to 35th. I doubt they'll do another video celebrating it again. But if they could get up to 34th or 33rd, who knows? That would be really nice to see. This is a huge fan favorite. They are going to be making some big changes to their staging in Eurovision. They put out a statement acknowledging that for Samverkeppning, because it's an Icelandic, people understand the song, but rest of Europe won't understand, so they've got more explanations on their LEDs. So I'm really happy to see that. I've also heard a rumor that they are bringing the boat. I hope they build the boat on the stage somehow. That would be really fun. This could really pop once we see the rehearsal footage, if the Icelandic delegation have got this right and taken advantage of the fun theme of this song. Fingers crossed for Vibe. In 34th place, moving down 3 spots, is Latvia, Tautu Metas, Burman Laimi. No new news about this. I originally talked about a rumor that one of the directors from Flow was going to be doing the LEDs. That is still not confirmed. If someone has a confirmation link, please let me know down below. This is an Oscar-winning director. So if that is true, that is big news, but very much unconfirmed, not confirmed. Please, someone send me some sort of source if you know there's confirmation about that, because that would be a really big thing for me in helping them to qualify from the semi-finals, having really high quality LEDs and artistic production. Okay, in 33rd place, moving down one spot, we have Armenia, Park Survivor. I am going to film a review to this, but I'm going to keep it super short because I've kind of missed the window for doing song reactions. No real news about this that I'm aware of. I don't know who usually does artistic direction for Armenia. If you know, leave a comment down below. But the last 3 years, their staging has been really wonderful. I believe Snap was done by Marvin Dietman. I don't know who did Brunette and Ladaniva's staging. But Armenia have a really high qualification record. This isn't going to win, but this might be a good one to bet for in the qualification odds, which are coming up later in the episode. 32nd place, we have Luxembourg moving up 1 place. Another country I think will be really good to bet on in the qualification odds coming up later. No massive big news from Laura Thorne. She has been on the pre-party circuit and her performances have been pretty solid. I still think the LEDs need a bit of a revamp, but often countries will use different LEDs on the pre-party circuit than they use in actual Eurovision, saving their secrets, holding their cards close. In 31st place, moving up 3 spots, is Serbia. A little bit surprised to see this moving up. I'm not aware of any big news that would make this up. One thing is he's been incredibly solid on the pre-party circuit. His vocals are excellent. He's got this characterization on stage, which he totally gets absorbed into. So that kind of commitment could make some people think that this has got a shot. In 30th place, moving down 7 spots, is Mariam for Georgia. I think eventually, once rehearsals are finished, this will be sinking down to the bottom. It would be nice to give Nina Zizic a little bit of a reprieve. Have I done a single video where she wasn't bottom? My very first video back on December 14th, Montenegro were 31st. But other than that, they've been bottom the entire time. And actually, at that point, bottom of the table was Moldova, who ended up withdrawing. Yes, it would be nice to see Nina Zizic get a little bit of a rest from carrying the weight of everybody above her. 29th spot, moving down 4 places, we have Portugal. I agree with this as well. This is absolutely zero chance of winning. They've said that they are going to be doing different staging for Eurovision, which is a little bit of a relief because the Festival de Kansai staging and the staging in the pre-parties is not going to work at all, in my opinion. So I'm glad that they are making changes. In 28th spot, moving up 1 place, is Denmark. Sissal singing Hallucination. Again, qualification is a big priority here. But the Danish head of Dansk MGP has released some of the details of their staging. There's going to be some cloth. There's going to be dancers. There's going to be projections onto the cloth, I believe. They actually gave quite a lot of details about it. I covered that in one of my recent videos. In 27th spot, moving up 3 places, is Spain. Spain being very steadily moving up, actually, because they were as low as 34th from my video at the end of February. And now they're moving up to 27th. That's good. Big 5 countries should at least be in the top 26, considering that they're automatically in the final. So I'm glad to see this. Hopefully this can move up a couple more places as well when we see rehearsals. Maybe there's some big show wow elements in the staging. Take advantage of melodies, very high quality performance ability. Okay, and our last person in the bottom 12 is Azerbaijan, moving up 2 spots to 26th, Mamagama. I haven't heard any details about this. I don't expect to hear any details about Azerbaijan. They tend to be a little bit more secretive. I have to admit, generally all of the countries in the Caucasus, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia, who are all in the bottom 12 this year of the betting odds, they don't tend to release a lot of information. Okay, let's take a quick zoom out on the bottom 12. The biggest gainers are Serbia and Spain, moving up 3 spots. The biggest loser is Georgia, moving down 7 spots, and Portugal moving down 4 spots. Do I have any recommendations for anyone here? Gosh, to win? No. Like, I think all of these countries, you're looking at qualifier odds. You're going to get much better deals there. Maybe do an accumulator if you really feel confident going for the top 5 or top 10 betting odds. But betting on any of these countries to win would be an insane surprise. So I would look at other markets if you are interested in these 12. Okay, now let's go to the middle 15, and in 25th spot, moving up 2 places, and actually he was as high as 23, is Clement from Slovenia. He's been very steadily climbing. So if we go back a little bit, as low as 34th at the end of December, then 29th, then 31st, then 27th, and now up to 25th. So he's been very steadily climbing. I'm not sure if there's a reason for this. Christer Bjorkman, one of the Swedish producers for the show, did an interview talking about how one of the artists this year is going to be upside down. So we can assume that that is Clement. Interesting things about hanging this year, because Justyna from Poland said that she was refused to be hung from the ceiling because she wanted to be lifted up as she was in the Polish national final, and she was told no. We also know that Prince had some hanging elements with his hanging moon in his national final. So I'm not sure what the official thing is. I assume it's a practical thing that they don't have the correct rigging on the roof, but somehow they find a way to put Clement upside down. Now, it's not definitely Clement, but he was upside down in his national final staging. Christer says someone is upside down this year. We're assuming it's Clement. I hope they got something wow at the end of the staging. That upside down bit comes in the middle. They need to finish on a bang, though, to stay in people's memories. But yes, betting on this to win for me is totally insane. There's no way that the televote's going to go for this. I would put the money into the qualifier market. Again, 24th spot, speaking of people who want to hang from ceilings, we have Justyna for Poland moving up 2 places. Again, I don't think this can win, but I don't think it's impossible that this does a decent result. So looking again at the top 10 odds, yeah, it's a long shot, but it's not impossible. We don't have that many girly bops this year, and especially ethnically tinged girly bops. So she does have a little bit of a niche to herself. It depends who else makes it into the final and what the running order is like. Can she pop? But yes, betting on this to win, I don't think is a good deal. In 23rd spot, moving up 1 place, is Norway. A little bit odd to see Norway down so low, but I do agree that this has a very small chance of winning. I'm hearing some rumors that fire is not allowed on the stage this year. Kolef from Škoda Elektronika in Albania said that is one of the limitations. Again, if you know what the official rule is this year, let me know. Obviously, each stadium is different and has different specifications. Some can support things hanging from the ceiling. Some might have more of a fire hazard. It depends on the particular arena. So the rules are going to kind of have to be adapted each year based off of that. But it sounds like not too much fire is going to be allowed. That's obviously difficult for Albania with a song called Zurm, which means fire, and Norway with a song called Lighter, which had lots of fire in the staging. So that's where delegations need to be creative and work around these limitations. In 22nd spot, moving down 2 places, is Germany. Tina, the female vocalist for Germany this year, has had laryngitis. She's skipped the London pre-party. She's just skipped the Madrid pre-party, which I think is very, very wise. She's trying to rest her voice. The vocal has to be clean. Absolutely. If her vocal's off, this song just falls super, super flat. So they have to rest her voice and just be really clean on the Eurovision final. Luckily, she's got time on her side. Pretty much we've got 1 month until the contest. That's plenty of time for her to recover, heal her voice, get back practicing singing. Some of the worries about the vocals mean they've moved down 2 spots. 21st, we have Lithuania moving down 7 spots. I'm not sure what the reason for this is, why they've moved down so much. I think it's very difficult for this to win, but I don't feel like anything's really changed since my last video around a month ago. So I'm not totally sure why Lithuania are dropping down. We kind of have a pretty clear idea on what their staging pack is going to be. I don't think there's going to be any surprises. They're very solid in their performance ability. Could just be that nobody's betting on them and they're betting on other songs who've had more new information recently. Okay, in 20th spot, moving up 2 places, is Ireland. Again, I don't think this can win at all. I think the priority is qualification. Those odds are going to be more interesting. Staging is going to be done by Marvin Dietman. Huge overlap here, I think, with Luxembourg. So I think how Luxembourg does could affect Ireland's chances in terms of qualification. Okay, in 19th spot, staying put, is Australia. Still think this is too low. I feel this has a real special something to it, but I understand why people are hesitant about Australia's televote. He's been really great in the pre-party circuit though. Great characterization on stage, fun LEDs. I think this is going to really pop and be memorable, and I think casuals will like this. So I still feel like this is a little bit too low. In 18th spot, we have Greece, also staying put. They're going to be doing a revamp to their staging. Apparently there's going to be something new and unexpected, which a lot of delegations are telling us this year. Yes, I agree on this being so low. I can't see this winning, but I definitely think that top 10 is on the boards, especially with Greece's record. They got Amanda Temford into the top 10. They've been top 11 3 of the last 4 years. So definitely one to look at in the top 10 market. San Marino are in 17th, moving down 1 place. That's Gabri Ponte. Again, I'll do a very super quick review of this in the next couple of weeks. Impossible for this to win. San Marino have never been better than 19th. The concept of this winning is it's not going to happen. They're not going to get the jury points. Again, if you really, really believe on this, top 10 odds is the place to go. Cyprus are in 16th, moving up 1 spot. Cyprus have been as low as 31st at the end of December and as high as 13th at the end of February. So Cyprus, like a yo-yo going up and down. They seem to have settled a little bit in 16th spot. I think once we see what the staging is going to be, why did the producers put them at the end of the show as semi-final number 1? This could move up a lot, or it could sink down pretty low. Feels like they've got a trick up their sleeve, so this could be moving up. So now might be a good time to bet on it for the qualification or top 10 odds. In 15th spot, moving up 6 places, we have Switzerland. The only news that I'm aware of with Switzerland is that their staging is going to be done by, I can't remember his name, the guy who did the UK staging last year. Sorry, I can't find his name now. I think it's something Theo. Sorry, I found his name. It's Theo Adams. Obviously, Dizzy last year, I thought had some of the most incredible staging. I think I put it number 1 in my top 10 staging video. Switzerland's obviously something very, very different, but interesting to see a new person on the board in terms of the staging direction, having another exciting name to look at. So I'll be really interested to see how does he adapt and do Switzerland after something so different as the UK last year. Okay, in 14th spot, moving down 2 places, we have Italy. Okay, in 14th spot, moving down 2 places, we have Italy. No real news about them. Still think this is a great contender for the jury. The jury and televote markets aren't fully open yet, but that's definitely something I'll cover when they pop up. Italy could be a great one for that. I think you need to get in quite early because I think a lot of people are expecting Italy to do quite well in the jury. So you need to have your notifications on so you see that as soon as it happens. In 13th spot, staying put, we have the UK, Remember Monday. I believe they've announced their artistic director as well. I just did the search and I cannot find it. It's actually kind of hard to find information about the artistic directors, despite the fact that they're kind of one of the big things in Eurovision. There doesn't seem to be too much attention on them in general, and they're kind of unsung heroes in the background. Maybe some of them prefer that. So the UK has announced their staging director, and that is Ace Barrowman, who's previously worked with Dua Lipa, Jade Thirlwall, Rina Sawayama, who is a perennial rumor to represent the UK, and Blackpink. And they're also working with Azerbaijan Run For You. So there's some information for Azerbaijan for you that I accidentally found. I'm so not too familiar with their work, but a lot of people are really hyped for their staging for Jade Thirlwall. So another really super cool name to have on the artistic direction scene. I'm really excited to see their staging. In 12th place, moving down one spot, we have Malta. This is not going to do well with the juries, but I still love seeing Malta so high up in the odds. Another one to look out for when the televote results come out, and then also top 10 and top 5. You might be able to get a good deal on this in the qualifier market as well, especially if you're willing to do an accumulator bet. In 11th spot, moving down 2 places, is Ukraine. Zifferblatt. I have to start saying it in the German way. How do I say Zifferblatt? Because it's a German word. Zifferblatt. Is that how you say it? Germans, tell me down below. Ukrainians as well. Anyone who speaks. People have such high expectations for me for pronunciation. I'm trying to pronounce 30 plus different languages. It is difficult. I do my best. Ukrainian 11. Yes, again, I can't see this winning. I just don't think the song there is there. I don't think it has a broad enough appeal. I love the song. I think it's wonderful, but it doesn't have a broad enough appeal. I'm not seeing enough love from enough people. Definitely one to consider for the televote odds when they pop up. Okay, let's have a little zoom out on this middle 15. We can see that the biggest riser is Switzerland, +6, potentially from that announcement of Theo Adams being the staging director. And then Lithuania moving down 7 spots. I have no idea why. Someone tell me down below, what did Catharsis do? Did they commit a crime or something I'm not aware of? They've been found on the pre-party circuit, so I'm not sure what happened. Now let's go to the top 10. And not huge changes here. We haven't had any big massive news, but let's go through. There have been a couple of movements. In 10th spot, staying put, we have Albania, although they did move up to 9th and then move back down again. Škoda Elektronika, so happy to see Albania so high up. I really just hope that this converts into a great result. I don't care about them winning. I want top 10. That is my priority for Albania. Their first top 10 since Rona Nishlu in 2012. That's what I want. Anything better than that is a bonus. But I think if people get too fixated on them winning or coming top 5, then they end up coming 8th or 9th, then people will be disappointed, which would be crazy. But Albania coming top 10 is wonderful. And again, the first time that they've done it in 13 years. So that's what I really, really want. I can't see this winning. I think some people are going to really like it, but I think a lot of casuals aren't going to get it. You know, Ukraine won in 2022 with an ethnic feel, but generally ethnic songs, I just think don't have a broad enough appeal to win. I love them too. I love ethnic songs. It's one of the things I love about Eurovision. I think that songs that are a little bit more mainstream have an advantage. Okay, in 9th place, moving up 6 spots, which I totally agree with, is Adonis for Czechia. So happy to see Czechia back into the top 10. They've been as high as 7th, but then they dropped down for some reason, back up again. He's had really, really strong pre-party performances. Not necessarily that I'm saying this is going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up being a little bit of a dark horse contender. It has the ingredients, amazing performer, fun, a little bit out there, a little bit weird, a little bit wonderful. Those are kind of the things that can be an X factor that you can be in contention to win. The stage show needs to be wow, no doubt about it. Like that goes for anyone who's going to win Eurovision. You have to have a wow total package. But some of the elements, the artists and the song, I think do have wow ingredients in them. In 8th spot, moving down 1 place, is Tommy Cash. Yeah, I still don't see the jury going for this, but I've seen an incredible reaction to this from casuals, so it could do really, really well in the televote. Keep an eye on those odds when they pop up. We'll check out his placing in the top 10 odds later as well. In 7th spot, moving up 1 place, is Belgium, which earlier in the season was number 1. He's in a very strange position where he's 7th in the winning odds, but if you go to the semi-final qualification, I think he's in 9th place. So very, very unusual to be only 2 places higher in the winning odds, but 9th in the qualification odds. But that's where we're at. I think that's kind of a testament to this could go really, really well, or it could go really badly. That polarity. In 6th spot, not moving, we have Erika Wikman for Finland. I, again, think this can be a dark horse. You know, if we get some big jury favorites and some big televote favorites, this could be one that does well in both. That's the path I see to her potentially winning. Let's wait to see rehearsals, but she's very talented. She can pull off some big staging. If they've gone very ambitious, this could rise up the ranks. In 5th spot, also staying put, is the Netherlands' Claude Selevi. Exact same path for me. He's not going to win the jury. He's not going to win the he could actually win the jury. That's not impossible. No way this is winning the televote though. So he would have to have a Nemo path, which is winning the jury by a lot. doing well enough in the televote, that could be the Netherlands' path. I don't see it happening, but I definitely see top 10 and top 5 as possibilities. In fourth place, we have Israel, also staying put. I haven't heard any new news about this. I still don't think that the jury is going to allow this to win. I don't think the song is a Eurovision winning song. France are in third spot, also staying put. I think they also have a Nemo path to victory, winning the jury, come top 5 in the televote. France did really well in the televote last year, coming fourth. I think this could potentially be a stronger package because a little bit more authentic, a little bit more vulnerability and rawness into it. So the man had an amazing song, but I feel like the emphasis on it was his insane vocal, as opposed to a kind of authenticity in the lyrics. A lot of French people telling me that the lyrics were kind of cliche, whereas the lyrics for Maman are much stronger. I think that could come across in her emotional performance of the song. In second place, also staying put, is Austria. He's been wonderful on the pre-party circuit. He's able to hit these notes. He doesn't need to sing in the last 30 seconds. He can do some ad-libs, but the backing track can go off. Very similar to Noah Carell in 2023. That frees him up to move around the stage. So maybe they could do something really huge in the staging for the last 30 seconds because really he only needs to sing a couple of notes. Sergio Hayen is staging it. I think this is the type of thing that Sergio really likes. Weird, different, unusual. He can do something crazy and it fits with the song, which means our number one still for the fourth episode in a row is Kai Barabadu Bastu. Their winning percent chance in the last episode was 25. It's gone up to 30 now. Whereas JJ was 19, he's gone down to 18. Israel were 9 and they've gone down to 6. Netherlands were 7 and they've gone down to 5. So Sweden are pulling away. One thing I'll say is that I don't think we're going to get any massive surprises with them. We know that Sweden generally copies and pastes their staging. So I think what we see in Basel is going to be what we saw Melody Festival, which was incredible. I don't know how much more they can add on to that, but still keep it real and authentic. Whereas countries like Austria, Netherlands, Finland can have some surprises up their sleeve, particularly the internal selections, because they haven't had to show off anything to get their place. So, Austria, France, Netherlands, Czechia, these countries can do something really, really huge, unexpected. I actually saw a video for JJ from Austria where he was showing his staging to Nemo. And Nemo was like, oh, wow. And there was talk of some sort of a prop. They bleeped it out so that there were no spoilers, but Nemo looked gooped looking at this video. I think it was like a concept video that JJ was showing them. This is the thing. I don't think Sweden's going to budge much, but we could see these other people coming up with a big surprise and they're going to move up. So it's better to get your bets in on those countries now. And then when we see their big staging, Sweden's odds will get a little bit better. And then you can maybe swoop in and bet on Sweden. There's all the strategy that goes in with long-term betting people with Eurovision. Let's take a little bit of a zoom out and look, not much movement in the top 10. Not too surprising because we already have a lot of the information and we're not getting big new information until we see the rehearsals. Czechia moving up 6 spots. Estonia moving down 1 spot. By the way, I will be in the press room in Bâle, so I will be giving you lots and lots of updates once I've seen the dress rehearsals, and I will be doing odds videos there as well to give you all the latest news to help you make any decisions that you want to make. So make sure that you're subscribed down below. Let's move on to some of these new markets. And the first one that I'm dying to see, I haven't looked at this by the way, the first one I'm dying to see is the semi-final predictions. Now I've done prediction videos for semi-final number 1 and semi-final number 2. I have not looked at the odds. I did not want to be influenced by them in any way. So this is my first time looking at them live on the channel. I'm literally opening the window now. We'll go through the qualifying chance percentage. Sweden 92, top of the odds, totally agree with that. This is 100% for me. Netherlands also 92. Estonia 91, I agree with this so far. I think Ukraine are the 4th highest ranked. I'm surprised about that. That would be a huge surprise. It would be the first time Ukraine are ever outside the top 8 in a semi-final ever. You still need to bet €33 to get €1 back. So it's not like it's a massive bargain. But if you had €1 million in your bank account, you could throw that and you could, what would you earn back? Would you earn back 33,000? Yeah. If you've got €1 million spare, bet it on Ukraine. You'll get €30,303 back. That's pretty good. But then theoretically you can lose €1 million. So yeah, sorry. Don't do that if you're a millionaire watching this, because I don't want you to come for me if Ukraine Chakna qualifies. But I still see them going through. In 5th place, with an 88% chance, we have Albania. You need to bet €20 to get €1 back on them qualifying. So it's very, very, very likely. Great to see Albania so high up. By the way, they haven't been top 5 in a semi-final qualification since Ronan Ishlu. So that's also a massive achievement for them. Yeah, Ronan Ishlu came second in her semi-final. And you know what? It would only be the third time ever that Albania were top 4 in their semi-final. Their very first year in the contest in 2004, they came 4th in their semi-final. Rona came second. Since then, they've never been in the top 5 of the semi-final. So that would be wonderful for Albania to get top 5 in the semi-final and then hopefully onto a top 10 result in the final. The country with the 6th highest qualification chances is Norway. Carl Alessandro with 82%. He's 1.13 decimals, which means you need to bet €7.5 to get €1 back. Yeah, like I kind of agree with that. I think that's a little bit more confident than I am. I know this has a really broad appeal. One of the best pop songs in semi-final number 1. But there's also loads of dark pop boys. Cyprus could overshadow him. So could Belgium. If people want something fun and camp, Vibe could elevate as well. So I think if other people are elevating, we might see this drop down. I don't feel as safe, although I would love to see Carl in the final. I think he's wonderful. In 7th spot for Poland is Justina. 77% chance, 1.22 decimals. Only solo female in entire semi-final. Returning artist. After 30 years, she has a storyline. This is not a bad thing. You'd have to bet, if you bet €50, I think you get around €10 back. If you bet €50, you win €11. Not great. Okay. Might be worth an accumulator bet though if you wanted to go for Poland and Norway and Albania, for example. Again, 8th spot, we have Theo Evan for Cyprus. Only a 76% chance, 1.17 decimal odds, but you can get as high as 1.35 with some of the betting companies, which is a pretty good deal right now. Last in the running order, very, very rarely doesn't qualify. The last one I can think of is Trina Park Line. But generally, if you're last in the running order, you're put there because you have wow staging, particularly in recent years. So I think that this is probably going to be a pretty wow show. I agree that the song is not super strong, so it does need wow staging to elevate. But last in running order, you're going to have so many eyes on the TV. That could be a pretty good offer. In 9th place, as I mentioned earlier in the video, he's 7th to win the contest, but 9th in his semi-final. Very bizarre occurrence. Red Sebastian, strobe lights, 75% chance of qualifying, 1.2. You can get as high as 1.42 for this. Very unusual. I'm not sure the last time we had someone so actually higher in the winning odds than we did in the qualification odds. I'm sure it's happened before. I remember that happening one time, but I don't remember who it was. If you remember it, leave me a comment down below. 10th spot is San Marino. Gabri Ponti, tutta l'Italia. 66% chance you can get as high as 1.62 for this to qualify in decimal odds. Sorry to spoil my semi-final 1 video, but the only one I disagree with there is San Marino. I put Iceland in and San Marino out. We can see some massive surprises with the semi-final odds. Last year, Latvia, bottom of the qualifier odds, all the way up to the announcement. It was the start of the betting odds, all the way through pre-parties, all the way through rehearsals, all the way through the whole of the show, up until the voting sequence, bottom of the qualifying odds, he managed to qualify. So big surprises can happen. Generally, I don't think the odds get 10 out of 10. I think it happened once or twice, but generally they get 8 or 9. Okay, that means an 11th spot with 47% chance we have Azerbaijan, Mamagama. Like I said earlier in the show, their staging is going to be done by Ace. So that could definitely help their chances. Now, these are where you're getting better numbers. So if you can predict one of these 5 going through, and realistically now, at least one of these 5 is going to go through. The bookies getting all 10 right pre-rehearsals is extremely unlikely. But then again, you haven't seen the staging, so it's a little bit hard to guess. Follow me on Twitter. I'll be talking about the staging when I see it in the dress rehearsals. This year, I'm probably going to be doing my dress rehearsal reactions on Instagram. Okay, in 12th spot, we have Iceland Vibe, 37% chance. That's not a bad offer, 2.63. I feel like that's 50-50. That feels like it might be worth a punt. 13th place, Klemen, Slovenia, also 37%. I also see that this is a possibility. It's definitely out there. I'd want to see the staging personally and what his performance is like and what the camera cuts are like. Did they build a good connection with the camera? 14th spot is Portugal, Napo del Delgado, 29%. Yeah, you have to see the staging. If they're just going for sleepy, light, snoozy staging, this has no chance. But if they go for something really wow, which tells this wonderful story that's in the lyrics, definitely got a chance. That's up to the delegation, and the delegation's been good lately. So it's not impossible that they do a good job converting this. You can get as high as 3.85, which means a €10 bet would win you €28.50. And you get your €10 back as well. So your total back you get is $38.50. Yeah, that's not bad. And then 15th spot currently is Croatia. Marco, you can get as high as 6.2 for him. But again, that's lower than Don's last year, who I believe was 7 in decimal odds to qualify. Largely I agree with his qualification odds. My biggest thing is I would still put Iceland in over San Marino. I think that DJ staging is hard to do. People generally don't show up for San Marino. I do agree it's a televote song, so it's not impossible at all. Italy will presumably give 12 points to this. Generally, you need between 40 and 60 points to qualify from a 15-person semi-final. That would be my one disagreement that I have. Let's go to semi-final number 2. And in first place is Finland Aukivikman with a 92% chance of qualifying. Second place, Israel with a 91% chance. Third place, Austria, JJ Wasted Love, 91%. These are the 3 that I put in as definite yeses in my semi-final 2 prediction video. I just put that up on my channel. In fourth place, we have Czechia. Wow, really high to see Czechia there. That's really, really good to see. I agree with that. I think that this is going to be really entertaining. Yes, he's 81%. Fifth place, Lithuania, 78%. Okay, a little bit higher than I would have thought because this is a non-pop song, but I think this has lots of niche support. To be honest, if you want a rock song this year, you have very few options. Armenia has a little bit of rock in it. Italy has a tiny bit of rock in it. This is by far the rockiest song. So they do have a niche to themselves. So I really do hope that they can make it through to the final. The bookies are pretty confident. In sixth spot, we have Malta. Mariana Conte serving. 78%, Malta on a 3 non-qualification streak. It would be wonderful to see them back in the Eurovision final, especially with all the turmoil that they've been through with this song. Seventh place, we have Greece, Claudia, 77%. All of these, none of them are particularly appealing. You need to put in quite a lot of money to get anything back. Again, if you want to go for an accumulator. In eighth place, we have Australia, Gojo Milkshake Man. I feel like that's a little bit low. People may be underestimating. Remember Australia Voyager? They won their semi-final. I think semi-finals are more open to Australia. It's not impossible that this is a surprise non-qualifier. I think it would be really unfair. This is easily in the top 10 packages for me. You still need to bet €4 to get €1 back though. Luxembourg in 9th place with 61%. That's one disagreement I have, although I can definitely see this qualifying. This feels like very hard to call. This could go super well and come top 10 or non-qualified. Reminds me a lot actually of Elika for Estonia. She qualified 10th in her semi-final, but then she came 8th in the final because she got huge jury points. So barely scraping in the televote only semi-final, but then huge after that. Could Laura Thorne be the same? And then in the 10th spot, we have Serbia, Prince Mila. I also put this through as my last qualifier. Serbia have been scraping through 10th and 10th in the last 2 years. So could they get 3 10ths in a row? They've never been outside the top 11 in a semi-final ever. If there was ever an entry that did break that streak, I feel like this could be it. Although they have a wonderful running order, being right at the end, plus one of only 2 male artists in the second half as well. So there are a little bit of lucky things on their side. Without that luck, I would put this much lower down. Okay, in 11th spot is Ireland. Kind of happy to see Ireland are so high, 51%. You can get as high as 2 with decimal odds on this. Wow, I'm kind of surprised that this is so high. I'm kind of happy as well. You can see this very natural smile on my face. I personally don't think this is going through, but I will not be unhappy if it does. Of course, I'm going to be rooting for my own country. It's fun to cheer for your own country and see them into the final, but I'm not expecting that to happen. In 12th spot, we have Sisal Hallucination, 48%. She's wonderful. She needs the delegation to really step up and support her and get Denmark out of their 4 non-qualification streak. 13th place, we have Armenia Parg, Survivor, 41%. Wow, in 14th, Latvia. Wow, this is really low. I had them in my borderline yes category. They've got a fantastic running order slot number 4, which has a 90% qualification record in the last 5 years, which is the best out of any slot. Plus, I think they've got a really unique, wonderful entry, folky Latvian fairy song about hope. So, wow, this is really low. You can get a 2.65. Could this be another year of everyone underestimating Latvia? They were 7 last year, so this is better than 7. But then Latvia do have that 6 non-qualification streak, so I understand it. 15th, we have Montenegro, Nina Zizic. Nice to see her not at the bottom of something. Poor Nina, getting a reprieve. She's at 22%, and that means at the bottom we have Georgia, Mariam Shangelia at 20%. I will put that lower. I think if she was in semi-final number 1, definitely could be a wild card to qualify because there's so few female artists, there's so few ballads. She would really pop, especially if she was in the second half of the first semi-final, which also has less countries as well. But in this semi-final, there's more ballads, there's more female ballads. Plus, I think France and Israel just totally overshadow her. You can get 5 decimal odds that she'll qualify. Stranger things have happened. How many of them do I agree with? I'm just trying to think about my video. I think 9 out of those 10 I agree with. I had Latvia in instead of Luxembourg, but I can definitely see Luxembourg qualifying and Latvia being a little bit of a shock non-qual. I think it would be a shock non-qualifier if Latvia didn't go through, because there's this huge amount of love in the community. I think the community needs to show up for Latvia. We almost got Southern Lights in 2023. This could be a redemption arc for the community if we get Tautumētās in. They've got Ireland, Lithuania, UK, Germany. I think there's lots of favorable countries here who could give Latvia points. So that's my pick at this point. Let's take a super quick look at the semi-final one winner odds. We have Sweden at the top with 62. I totally agree with that. I'd be very surprised at this point with current information if it wasn't Sweden. We need to see someone like really surprising the rehearsals. Estonia in second place with 10%, Netherlands with 7, Ukraine with 4, and Albania in fifth with 3. Yeah, for me, it's Sweden. I totally agree with that. Okay, now let's look at the semi-final 2 winner odds. And currently in first place is Israel with 44%. Second is Finland with 22. Austria in third with 18. And then everyone else is way, way, way below. I do agree. I think it'll be between those 3. I think whether Israel wins or not will depend on what kind of promotion the Israeli delegation is doing this year. Are they doing the same as last year? Do they have the same funding to do advertising and whatnot? How much solidarity is there? If we look at just pure songs, this isn't a semi-final winning song at all. I think it does really depend on those other factors. So, that's very, very hard to predict about that information. I think in a normal scenario, Finland is the winner of the semi-final, absolutely. And then Austria potentially, if the staging is super wow, but Finland just makes more sense. It's at the end of the show. It's a televote song, super wow concert, incredible performance. In normal circumstances, that would be the winner of the semi-final. Now let's go to the new top 5 market. First place is Sweden with 74%, Austria 68%, France 53%, Israel 49%, and Netherlands 47%. So it's basically the winning odds in the exact same order. Finland in 6th, that's also the same. Estonia in 7th, that's one difference. Estonia are currently 8th in the winning odds. Czechia 8th, Albania 9th, Belgium 10th. So the only difference here is that Belgium's basically moved down from 7th down to 10th, and so everyone else has moved up one spot. But otherwise, this is like the exact same order betting on the winning odds. So yeah, it might be worth hunting here. You might be able to get a better deal than you would with the winning odds. Obviously, when you're betting on top 5, they can come first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, as opposed to only winning. There are a couple of nice deals here. I think Finland at 2.63 to come top 5 is a great bargain. That would be my pick from those. Let's look at the top 10 odds. Have they changed at all? Literally almost no change with the top 10 odds either. The only difference is that Estonia and Ukraine have swapped position. Czechia and Albania have swapped position. But otherwise, again, almost the exact same as the winning odds. Another small difference here is that Belgium are lower. They're down in 13th. Belgium all over the place. Belgium down in 13th despite being 9th in their semi-final and 7th in the winning odds. Crazy. Any deals here? I still feel like Australia is a good deal in 17th place. Lithuania could be a bit of a surprise with the jury. Italy could be surprised with the jury. If you have a really strong jury score, that alone could be enough to get you top 10. Like Alika didn't do amazing with the televote, but she did 5th of the jury, I believe, and ended up coming 8th overall. So I think your strategy with the top 10 market is who can do really well in the jury, who can do really well in the televote, because that alone can get you top 10. Let's look at the top Balkan country. Slovenia don't consider themselves Balkan. They consider themselves Southeast Europe. So I didn't say that they were Balkan. The betting markets did. It was Albania first, Greece second, Slovenia, which I'm not saying is Balkan, is third, Serbia in 4th, Croatia 5th, and Montenegro 6th. I'd agree with that. Yeah, like unless something goes really wrong with Albania or people just don't get this, if Albania slips up in any degree, I think Greece is definitely going to swoop in. They know how to get a top 11 result. They've shown that 3 of the last 4 years. So actually, that's a pretty tempting deal for me. I'm not saying that Albania is going to slip up, but if you bet on Greece to get the best Balkan result, and then Albania don't do well, you have some compensation. Okay, best Nordic is going to be Sweden, followed by Finland, followed by Norway, followed by Iceland, followed by Denmark. Oh no, I got one wrong. Denmark's ahead of Iceland by only a tiny bit. That wasn't the most difficult thing to guess in the world. I'm not saying that that's like my claim to fame. Let's go big 5. Okay, so it is France, Italy at the top, but UK is actually in 3rd, 7%. Germany in 4th, 5%, and Spain at the bottom with 4%. Yeah, I don't think that's a particularly appealing market right now. I think France is the most obvious one. If France don't get it, Italy will be the most obvious second place. So, the only tempting odds are UK, Germany, and Spain. That's a pretty big prediction. If you're able to make that now, shout out to you, because that is a big call. Okay, and finally, let's go to the Baltic. And number one here is Estonia with 73%, Lithuania with 21, and Latvia with 6. Yeah, I don't think Latvia can get the top result, but Lithuania, if they get a huge jury score, which isn't impossible, could potentially surprise if Tommy gets bombed by the jury. So that could be an interesting one. Okay, that's enough odds. Oh my God, so many odds. Thank you for staying until the end of the video with me, for checking all those out. I will definitely do another odds update later on in the season if we get some new markets, and I'll definitely be giving you updates in Basel from the press room once I've seen the dress rehearsals. So make sure you're subscribed. Thank you to those who've been supporting me on PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to support the channel, I'll leave a QR code for you here and a link in the description. Thank you to all my wonderful patrons for patronizing me from all around the world. On my Patreon, you can find loads of fun and goofy Eurovision stuff. Go check it out if you're a fan. But of course, thank you so much just for being here. I've seen another Eurovision analysis video very, very soon. Goodbye.